Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss the novel The Old Man and the Sea, written by Ernest Hemingway. The Old Man and the Sea is a novella nicely written by Ernest Hemingway, who is popularly known as one of the greatest American novelists, short story writer, and journalist. Hemingway started his literary career with his first novel, The Sun Also Rises. He wrote approximately seven novels, six short stories collection, and two non-fiction works were published posthumously. Among this novel, The Old Man and the Sea, A Farewell to Arms, For Whom the Bell Tolls, The Sun Also Rises, A Moxable Feast are world famous. For his contribution in American literature, he was awarded with the Nobel Prize in Literature 1954. The Old Man and the Sea was written in 1951 and published in 1952. He was awarded with Pulitzer in 1953 for this novel, and it was the last major work of fiction that was published during his lifetime. The Old Man and the Sea is the story of an epic struggle between an old fisherman Santiago and a big fish marlin. The old fisherman Santiago was a seasoned fisherman. He fished in the Gulf Stream near the coast of Cuba. He failed to catch any fish for the last 84 days. He was declared unlucky by other fishermen of the locality. A young boy, Monalin, used to work with him as an apprentice. His continuous failure in catching a fish influenced the mind of the parents of Manolin. Although Manolin continues to help Santiago launch and retrieve his boat from the ocean each day, Manolin cares for the Santiago, bringing him food and clothing, and in return, Santiago tells Manolin stories about baseball legends and his younger day fishing in a boat of Africa. Every night, Santiago dreams of lions on the beaches of Africa. Early each morning, Santiago walks up the road to Manolin's family's home to wake him up for work. In the morning of 85th day, Manolin helps Santiago launch his boat into the sea. Santiago dropped four buoys of different depth in the sea. The first buoy was at the depth of 50 fathoms. The second buoy was at the depth of 75 fathoms, and the third at 100 fathoms, and the fourth was held at 125 fathoms. Finally, in the early afternoon, he catches a 10-pound tuna, which he decides will be his meal for the day. Afterward, Santiago feels a hard pull on his line and realizes that a huge marlin has caught his hook. Because the marlin is so big, Santiago cannot pull it in. Santiago wished that the boy would have been with him to help in pulling the fish. On the second day, the old man had a chance to look at the fish which jumped out of water for air. The old man was standing at his place in the boat and he was sweating during his contest with the fish. His right hand was injured and left hand was cramped. He felt lonely. Santiago was not so religious, but at this time he prayed and said, I will say 10 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Mary that I should catch this fish, and I promise to make a pilgrim to the Virgin. De Cobra it catch him. He wonders what his hero Joe the Magic would do if he were in Santiago's situation. On the third day at sea, he lets out a small line and catches a dolphin fish to eat. He rests for a few hours but is wakened by the marlin Jumping frantically, Santiago continues holding the line, although it has been cutting into his hand for some time. The Marlin tired and begins circling the boat as Santiago grows weaker from lack of sleep and exhaustion. Finally, Santiago was all his strength to harpoon and kill the marlin. Santiago ties the marlin to the side of his boat and begins sailing back toward Cuba. During the homeward journey, sharks attacked the boat, tearing the flesh from the marlin. The shot attacked the tail of the big fish and ate at least 40 pounds of flesh. The old man drove his harpoon into the brain of the shark. The shark died at once and went into the sea. In this fight, the old man was deprived of his harpoon along with the rope. At this point, the old man said, "A man can be destroyed but not defeated." The old man had to face the attack of two more sharks. He killed those sharks with the knife and tied it to the end of the oar. In this attack, they seemed to have eaten one fourth meat of the dead marlin. Before sunset, more sharks attacked the big fish. The old man beat their head with his club and injured them seriously. They also ate the large amount of the fish of the marlin. At midnight, he saw brilliant lights of Havana. He was near his destination. Then again a pack of sharks attacked the fish. He took up his club and beat them mercilessly. The old man succeeded in killing them, but at that time only the skeleton of the fish was left, leaving the marlin's skeleton still tied to his boat in the harbor. Santiago goes to sleep in his hut. The next day, Manolin finds Santiago asleep in his hut. Manolin is overjoyed to see him, but cries when he sees the cuts in Santiago's hand. He brings Santiago coffee, passing the crowd of fishermen who are marveling at the marlin's joint skeleton. Then Santiago wakes up. Manolin tells him he does not care what his parents say. He is going to start fishing with Santiago's again. Thus, life and death are prominent themes in this novel. It teaches us lessons of patience, courage, and friendship. Now we can say that The Old Man and the Sea is one of the best novels of Ernest Hemingway.